Welcome to Our Candy Rose for those who stay. This is created in loving memory of my daughter, Candace Rose, who lived from 2007 to 2025. Your life will not be in vain. Everything we do will be in your name. I had a dream recently that stayed with me in a way that felt visceral. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't about loss. It wasn't about hospitals or emergencies or anything obvious. It was about a haircut. In the dream, I was sitting in a salon chair, caped up, vulnerable, and someone cut my hair in a way I did not ask for. Short, blunt bangs, uneven layers, just wrong. I remember the shock when I finally saw myself. No, what is this? And the worst part, there was no mirror while it was happening. I couldn't see the process. I couldn't monitor it. I didn't consent to it. And when I tried to say something, the stylist acted like I had asked for it, like this is what I wanted. I cried and I still paid. Then I left, panicked, needing a wig, needing to cover it up, and I went back to fight it, to ask for fairness. And even then, I was dismissed. It's just a haircut dream, but it's not. Because hair and dreams is rarely about hair. Hair represents agency, identity, how we frame our face to the world. It's personal power. And a butchered haircut dream, that's a loss of control meets identity anxiety. It's watching something about yourself be altered and you didn't choose it. So I started sitting with it. Why bangs? Why uneven layers? Why no mirror? And it began to feel obvious. I'm in a season of visibility, new hospital, new leadership structure, promotion uncertainty, outstanding performance review, more responsibility, more evaluation, a podcast where I speak publicly about grief and trauma and growth, travel, thresholds, exposure, and my brain staged a scene about being changed without consent. Because that's the fear underneath so many transitions. Not, what if I fail, but what if something about me changes and I don't recognize myself? Hair is such an intimate symbol. Across cultures, it represents identity, growth, memory, feminine power, spiritual energy. There's even that old symbolic idea that hair holds trauma, that cutting it means release, letting go, beginning again, shedding an old self. But here's the key. In my dream, it wasn't release. It was forced change. There's a difference. There's intentional cutting and there's accidental loss. There's empowerment and there's vulnerability. The video I watched later, the woman cutting her hair and stomping it like an exorcism, that was ritual. That was choice. My dream was opposite energy. It was an identity threat. Let's break down the symbolism. No mirror while it was happening. That's profound. That's the psyche saying things are shifting and I don't have visibility. Decisions are being made that I can't monitor. It's the fear of being blindsided. And for someone stepping into new systems, that fear makes sense. There's uncertainty. There are timelines you don't control. There are evaluations you wait for. You don't always get a mirror. Then the shock when I saw myself, that moment of, this is not what I asked for. That's grief language. That's identity shift language. That's motherhood after loss language. I didn't ask for this version of my life because that's what child loss does. It cuts something from you without consent. It hands you a version of yourself you never would have chosen. And if you have to look in the mirror and figure out how to carry it, that's what you have to do. The stylist acting like I asked for it, that's gaslighting symbolism. That's being told, this is fine, you wanted this, don't overreact. And how many systems subtly do that? You're grieving but still functioning. You're high performing. You're strong. You're capable. So the world assumes you must be fine. But being strong doesn't mean you choose the cuts. The part that hit hardest later to me, I cried and still paid. That's forced compliance. That's the nervous system acting out. I'm paying emotional cost for something I didn't choose. And that's not just professional. That's not just identity, that's grief. Grief is paying for something you never bought. Then the wig, the panic, the need to cover it up. A wig symbolizes camouflage, safety. I need to look normal to survive. How many times in my life did I put on a wig metaphorically? Military composure, professional armor, emotional steadiness, polished high performance, because looking regulated is often safer than being honest. But here's what I love about my dream self. She went back. She didn't just accept it. She returned, she advocated, she asked for fairness. That matters. In trauma psychology, that's called corrective action rehearsal. The brain is practicing, going back in the room, speaking up, demanding accountability, even if it doesn't get the ending it wants. The nervous system is learning, I can advocate now. That's growth. And if I reduce the dream to one sentence, it's this. I'm afraid of being changed without consent and dismissed when I speak up. That's honest. That's vulnerable. And that fear makes sense when you've lived through loss without consent, systems that delay, moments of being unheard, motherhood pain that can't be fixed, pathways that require patience, public visibility where people interpret you without knowing you. There's another layer too, though. Threshold moments almost always trigger bad haircut dreams because a threshold asks, who will you be now? How will people see you? Are you choosing this identity, or is it just happening to you? And this year has been one long threshold: loss, relocation, role shift, growth, host, mother without a daughter physically here, a mother with a daughter still hours away. I'm rebuilding. My psyche used hair as the metaphor because it's safe. It's reversible in waking life. It's not life or death, but symbolically it's everything. Here's the healing part. I remembered the dream. I didn't dismiss it. I didn't say that's silly. I noticed it. I named it. I felt it. That's integration. That's emotional intelligence and grief intelligence working together. Shock, grief, panic, advocacy. That's a full arc. And I still woke up safe. And maybe the real meaning isn't about control at all. Maybe it's about trust. Trusting that even if something shifts, even if I don't see the process, even if I feel temporarily unrecognizable, I will still advocate. I will still return. I will still speak up. I will still be me. Uneven bangs and all. There is something beautiful about realizing that identity isn't as fragile as we think. Even after loss, even after promotion cycles, after public storytelling, even after systems that move slower than our nervous systems would like, I am still here. I am not erased. I am not butchered, not ruined, just evolving. And evolution can feel like a haircut you didn't approve until you remember that hair grows, identity grows, nervous systems rewire. So if you ever had a dream like that, a bad haircut, a public embarrassment, a changed face, a broken mirror, it might not be vanity. It might be vulnerability. It might be your psyche asking, do I get to choose who I'm becoming? And the answer slowly, gently, through advocacy and awareness and integration, yes. Not perfectly, not immediately, but yes. For those who stay, we are consistently becoming. Sometimes by choice, sometimes by circumstance, sometimes by loss. But the power is not in preventing change. The power is in staying connected to yourself through it. Mirror or no mirror, cilantro or not, grief or not, you are still you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. For those who stay, we remember.